Hey sunshines, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Monet, aka Political Bae, and I know you guys have been like, where have you been with the videos? And I know I'm getting better with this consistency thing, but you know, life happens and it comes at you quick. So today we're going to be talking about the Democratic primaries and the fact that there is 22 people running for this nomination for the presidential race and the thoughts and feelings about that. But first, I'd like to give a really quick and heartfelt shout out to Variola that sent me this personalized necklace. So you guys can go ahead on their website. I'm gonna put the link in the description box and you can check out their personalized nameplates, and they have a bunch of other things that, you know, that are really cute. You can use my code Monet60 and that will give you some percentages off on top of whatever sale they're having at the time. So let's get into the video. Now, of course, you know, the two standout people to me in this race, even though I hate to, you know, give de Blasio his things while he's here, he really did, whoever his campaign manager, whoever prepped him, did a really great job at finding his target issues and like honing in on them. Let's check out this little clip of him talking about immigration.
This is for all the American citizens out there who feel you're falling behind, who feel the American dream's not working for you. The immigrants didn't do that to you. The big corporations did that to you. The 1% did that to you.
Even though I have my things with de Blasio, I think that whoever's running his campaign is doing a really great job. Points were definitely made. The idea, like we've always heard this, that the immigrants are coming to steal from us and you know, taking all of our things and all of whatever the case may be. And being a Black immigrant myself, I've heard it, you know, from Black people towards, you know, Latinx immigrants, and I've also heard it towards myself as a Black immigrant, that we're here to steal things. And you know, I think as working class people, we tend to forget, like, we are all just trying to survive, and the people that are really controlling things are not the ones that you're seeing. So de Blasio made a great point where he pointed out it's the corporations, it's the 1%, it's those that hold all the powers and the resources that sort of have people that is the working class, you know, being pit against each other. And that's sort of the reason why we have all these intense, you know, racialized tensions and you know, breakdown in humanity, because capitalism requires that we fight over resources and we sort of don't interrogate the forces around us and, you know, use our sort of analysis to see what's really going on. So I'm really happy he pointed that out. So my personal highlight for night one of the debates was watching Beto O'Rourke and Cory Booker sort of duel it out for who can speak Spanish the best and like who's gonna connect to the Latinx population, because obviously we understand that they're like the largest minority population in the United States, and like at this point, like, we can't afford to not you know, engage all people in this sort of political race. But I just thought it was so funny, and the memes of Cory Booker's face watching his opponent speak Spanish is just hilarious to me. It literally just reminded me of like me trying to speak Spanish to my clients when they call me, and like, you know, trying my hardest not to use an interpreter, which I desperately, you know, obviously have to do. So, now, I remember when the governor, I forgot where he's from, was going off about being the only one to pass a healthcare act for women's choice, and he's the only one fighting for women's choices. And then one of the, I'm not sure who this woman is, but I'm gonna put her name, turns out, and actually I'm gonna just play the clip, look at it.
Health and health insurance, and I'm the only candidate who has passed a public option.
I just want to say there's 3 women up here that have fought pretty hard for a woman's right to choose. So I'll start with that.
I'm the man that have fought for this, and the fact that she was just like, let me collect you, let me bring you back. There's 3 women on this stage who have always fought for our rights. So thank you for thinking that you are this, like, you know, knight on a white horse, but that's actually what's not happening here, and that's definitely one of the highlights of the debate. Now, of course, my girl Liz Warren, with her, you know, indigenous testing problematic self, did what she had to do. She got the things done. There's critiques, and very valid critiques of this woman, as there are critiques of all of the candidates, but Elizabeth Warren is really my standout candidate.
When you've got a government, when you've got an economy that does great for those with money and isn't doing great for everyone else, that is corruption, pure and simple. We need to call it out. We need to attack it head on.
I would love to see her as the Democratic nomination. Her policies about healthcare and you know, the fact that healthcare is a human right as well as housing is a human right, which are just two things that I, you know, believe in so much. I just think that like that's the key to a successful and healthy like society. You know, I stand Liz. Points were made all throughout this debate. She gets the job done. You know, but night two definitely was, you know, quite interesting. I will say that Kamala came out on top of that. You know, I am here for all the critiques of Kamala Harris. Do not get me wrong. She has a history of policing and, you know, policies that have been harmful to Black women and Black families. But what I am not here for from you folks then is the anti-Black woman rhetoric when it comes to critiquing Kamala. You can critique Kamala's policies without interrogating who she's married to, without interrogating her roots, without doing all of those things, right? Like what we're not gonna stand for is the misogynoir. Kamala definitely won this debate, and we can just show a little clip right here of her gathering these folks up. I'm talking lasso, just caught them and gathered them and put them together. Check it out.
You know what? America does not want to witness a food fight. They want to know how we're going to put food on their table. Yes? I will also immediately put in place a meaningful process for reviewing the cases for asylum. I will release children from cages. I will get rid of the private detention centers.
Honestly and truly, when Kamala used the emotions and the pathos to sort of bring out that, you know, human emotional reaction from the audience when she addressed Biden's sort of racist past and his sort of complacency in the future, right? Like just because he was the first Black president's vice president does not take away the fact that as a white man, he has been complacent and even actively racist, right?
And I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Like, we cannot let Biden pass just because of this I have a Black friend thing. How many times do we talk about white people who use the I have a Black friend, I have a Black coworker, my sister's brother's cousin's dog's best friend is Black, right? Like, and we should not allow that just because, you know, a Black person that we respect and, you know, Obama and Michelle has sort of been close to this man, and we can just take that as a blanket approval for all Black people. The reality is that, you know, I would say the standouts in the Democratic primary so far has definitely been Warren and Kamala, and I honestly would love to see Elizabeth Warren, Kamala. I think Booker is going to fall out the race. I think that Beto is going to also do the same. I think Bernie I think he's losing some of his traction just because he hasn't really figured out how to change his 2016 message to fit the 2019 narrative. And, you know, there's going to be some issues there, but in this first round, those are my thoughts. I'm really excited to see what goes on as the race, you know, continues. And like I said, I think it's really just overkill that we have so many people being nominated for the primaries. I really wish that they would just cut this down sooner so we can really get into the nitty-gritty of the issues that really needs to be addressed for the next person that's going to hold the presidency of the United States, or we're going to make the same mistake that we made in 2016. Hopefully we didn't. And you know what, let me change that. I don't even know if that was a mistake, right? I really think that that kind of needed to happen. And I think that it was going to happen. I remember when all of this was happening, I was in college at the time, and everyone around me, I told them that Trump was going to win, and they were just like, why are you such a cynic? And it wasn't that I was being cynical. It was just that history repeats itself, right? We had 8 years of Obama, and what's going to come after that is the obvious white lash of American politics and just American civility. It's just what history shows. When civil rights ended, we had the war on drugs. When slavery ended, we had Jim Crow laws. Like, you know, there's always a white lash to progress in America, and that's why we have to be very, very much so very keen in the way that we're treating these issues and how we're navigating the spectrum. So those are my thoughts for today. I will probably do another video for the second round. I hope you enjoyed it. Follow me on social media, Instagram and Twitter @MonetWhoElse, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.